private and public institutions. Madam Speaker, I just want to urge members of this House that we have very good and qualified doctors in our public institutions. Madam Speaker, what we need is to finance enough these public institutions. Let them know that any minute, a member of parliament, a police officer, a senior teacher, might be head of public service, can walk into these hospitals so that, Madam Speaker, we will have these hospitals well prepared. The amount of money we have from our insurance that is covered by the government and that is by the taxpayers' money, it is enough. As we even said that the government need to add more money, we may not even need to add more money, Madam Speaker, because from our insurance cover, that money can be plowed back. We'll have enough doctors, we will have enough staff members, nurses, we'll have clean facilities, Madam Speaker. And as one of the members said, Madam Speaker, about UHC, it's just about affordability. We're already giving money through SHA. It's about affordability and also accessibility. Madam Speaker, sometimes even when we say we have devolved health, you'll find that our people go, they're paid for SHA, you're told there is no medication, so you have to go and buy in a pharmacy. And you find that it's kind of a cartel, Madam Speaker, that even the public, some of the equipment in our public facilities where we are saying, yes, we may need more equipment, but they might be working, but they are sabotaged so that you can be sent to a nearest private facility to go for a CT scan, to go for an X-ray. And it is sad, Madam Speaker, and I would, because I've seen Honorable Nyikal here, I have two requests. One, I would like your committee to investigate on the amount of money that is being paid out by SHA. What is being paid to the public facilities, and I know we already have around 42% of our public facilities, and what is going to a private facility. Why would we pay around 100 million to a private, very small private hospital that is giving cancer treatment, and compared to what we are paying the entire Kenyatta University referral, Moi Teaching referral, Kisii level 5, even the Jaramogi Oginga, or the amount of money we are paying to Kenyatta National Hospital. Why would a small facility that only offers one service, and it's publicly known in Kenya, be paid millions of shillings from SHA? Honorable Nyikal, and allow me, Madam Speaker, through the Speaker, to address you. Last night, as a mother, I was very disturbed by a case I saw from Machakos, and I wish and I hope the women rep Machakos and the leaders from Machakos can follow that matter. And Honorable Nyikal, with your committee, kindly help that mother whose child was operated in a facility in Machakos. First, she was forced to pay 5,000. I watched 9 p.m. news yesterday, around 9:35 p.m. You can go back to your YouTube and see. And then this child, the mother was forced first to pay 5,000 shillings. Then the doctor messed up with the child. The child needed emergency, so she even borrowed 50,000 to get an ambulance. And the ambulance, when they were leaving the hospital, they were meant to be taken for referral in Kenyatta Hospital. But then the mother ended up in a facility, small facility in Isili, where this baby has been held. And the mother, till now, cannot be able to access to see the condition of her child, who is in ICU, because she has been asked to pay 3 million Kenyan shilling. I saw that lady crying. Where can she get 3 million? Her child is being held in the funny facility in Isili. Why, Honorable Nyikal? Why would we have our citizens suffering when you have been forced to go and use a private facility because they need money? And investigate also. Sometimes you'll go, some of the services that are offered when you're going with an insurance or with this SHA, if SHA is paying, you are told you can pay, the service is 28,000. But when you are paying cash, you are told you can pay 14,000. What is this? We need to investigate. And the only solution, let us make sure that we equip our public facilities. Let us make sure we have enough doctors, enough medicines, we have enough supporting staff, so that, honorable members, you can easily walk into Kenyatta National Hospital. We even have a private wing. And I want to say, maybe for us to start by leading by example, because we are urging the ministry to quickly form a policy on this. And sometimes policy can take as long as somebody wants. It can be formed within 1 month, 6 months, or somebody can decide to sit on this forever. And I hope the Committee on Implementation can follow up on this. So, might be members of this house, for your yearly health checkup, I would want to urge you, go to Kenyatta University Teaching Referral. It has a state-of-art facility. We don't have any in Kenya, in East Africa, in Africa, such facility. Not even any private facility that we have around. Go for your medical checkup there. They even have a presidential suite. Go and see. Start referring your people there. Let us use Kenyatta. I challenged the management of Kenyatta National Hospital the last time I took my father there. Because we cannot have a level 6 hospital using water basins to give patients. When you get admitted, you are given a water basin with tissue inside. At what age is this? Having, Madam Speaker, bathtubs in a hospital, you know, and because you can just see people who just want to do supplies, because the bathtub would be more expensive than a normal shower. Madam Speaker, we need to be serious about our health care. And because health is a right in this Republic of Kenya, it is in our constitution. Thank you, honorable members, for the support you have given me. I know with this, we will have more better services being given in this, in our public facilities. Our doctors will be smiling. They will not go for strike because we'll have enough money to pay them from our insurances. Our nurses will be happy, our support staff will have clean facilities. And I thank you once again for the support. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sabina Chege. Next order.
Order number 9, motion. Formulation of a land use policy on zoning of land for agriculture and built development.
The Honorable Timothy Wanyonyi, Member of Parliament. I can see that the Honorable Wanyonyi is not in the House, so that matter is deferred to a time when it will be next scheduled by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 10, the Breastfeeding Mothers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2024, second reading.
Honorable Sabina Chege, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to move the Breastfeeding Mothers Bill 2024, the National Assembly.
Honorable Sabina, to disturb you before you finish moving the motion. Honorable members, I would like to recognize students. Seated in the public gallery this morning, honorable members, we have students from Emali, Sunshine Academy, Kajiado East constituency in Kajiado County, Mutini School from Boone constituency in Makueni County, Kidadhani School, Makueni constituency in Makueni County, St. Mary's Kibabii Boys from Kandui constituency in Bungoma County. And also seated in the Speaker's Gallery this morning, we have students from Makuyu School, Murang'a South constituency, Murang'a County, and Bavuni Secondary School from Bahati constituency in Nakuru County. I would like to request the Honorable Sabina Chege to welcome the students, and then as you continue, the school from Murang'a, it's called Makuyu School. So you may welcome them for us, and then you proceed to move the motion.